Disclaimer: the pronunciation of words in this video are not 100% correct. Yeah, sorry.
Who are you?
Although there has been much speculation, nobody knows the true identity of Pseudo-Dionysius. He claimed to be Dionysius of the 1st century, a friend of the apostles. He made people believe he was from the 1st century by doing many things. One thing he did was that he fabricated eyewitness accounts of when the apostles gathered around the Virgin Mary when she died. He also associates himself with Apollo-phanes in the city of Heliopolis. He did this in one of his works called The Letters, where he wrote, "I was with you as we looked at everything, scrutinized everything, were amazed by everything." His deception of his true identity held strong for many centuries. It was not until observations by Lorenzo Valla during the 15th century did his true identity come into question. Then, in 1895, it was officially established that Pseudo-Dionysius must have lived after 5th century Neoplatonist Proclus, because there were direct quotes from Proclus in the works of Pseudo-Dionysius. So while he claimed to be Dionysius of the 1st century, he actually lived during the late 5th century and early 6th century. This time was estimated because his works were first quoted during the time of Pope Gregory the Great. Aside from the estimated lifespan of Pseudo-Dionysius, we don't really know who he is. Although the true identity of Pseudo-Dionysius has never been found, he has still been very influential in Christianity. He has been quoted by great theologians such as Thomas Aquinas and Maximus the Confessor. His ideas about hierarchy and the name of God were expressed in their numerous works. One of the major writings of Pseudo-Dionysius were the letters. These letters were never sent because he wrote these letters claiming to be Dionysius of the 1st century, and the recipients lived 4 centuries before they were written. There were 10 letters in total, which were arranged in a rough hierarchical order. The first 4 letters were addressed to Gaius, and correlates with the biblical 3rd letter of John. The Dionysian theme of not seeing God also echoes through the first 4 letters. Each letter discusses the disruption of good church order. Pseudo-Dionysius wanted to rid the church of any possible corruption so they can better understand God and God's will. Pseudo-Dionysius also stresses the divine names into his letters by referring to God as good, which reflects a Neoplatonic principle. In the ecclesiastical hierarchy, Pseudo-Dionysius described humans as being divided into 8 different ranks within the church. The highest rank were the hierarchs or bishops, then priests, deacons, monks, laity, catechumens, penitents, and finally, at the bottom, the demon-possessed. The ecclesiastical hierarchy, however, does not address human life outside the church, except for a few scattered references to the angels ruling over other religious traditions, an earlier legal hierarchy of the Jewish rite, which precedes the ecclesiastical hierarchy of the Christian rite. The celestial hierarchy influenced theological literature in 2 major areas. The first area of literature is its teachings about the angels. The second area is its general theory or method of interpretation of symbols. These works influenced Dante's Paradiso and Abbot Suger's desire for uplifting beauty of the new church at the Abbey of St. Denis in the 12th century, which has long been regarded as the first Gothic building. Also in the celestial hierarchy, Pseudo-Dionysius speaks of his theory of angels, which is very Neoplatonic in nature, in that it gives a sequence of lesser beings that are under God. He gives an account of the realm of heavenly immaterial beings, the angels in celestial hierarchy. His hierarchy of angels is organized by 3 ranks of 3 orders, which are were, however, a couple of problems with the celestial hierarchy that Pseudo-Dionysius was worried about dealing with. One problem that arose was that Isaiah was visited by a seraphim instead of an angel. He fixes this by saying that all seraphims are angels, but not all angels are seraphims. He also claims that Isaiah has a greater purification than a normal person. In the Divine Names, the entire treatise was dedicated to defining the name of God. Pseudo-Dionysius discusses Neoplatonic points of view, such as intangible and incorporeal versus the forms. He begs the question how people can give a name to something that doesn't have a material form. He addresses this question by using the one and oneness to describe a goodness or supra-existent being. The one is what gives life to the living and being to beings. It keeps its nature uncorrupted, making it filled with divine harmony and sacred beauty. Pseudo-Dionysius focuses on names calling God the Good, or I am being, because God created all things. Divine unity and differentiation are brought up multiple times in the divine names. When it comes to evil, he addresses it by saying that it's the absence of good. He stated in the divine names that evil, as I often said, is weakness, impotence, defiancy of knowledge, of ceaseless knowledge, of belief, of desire, and of activity of the good. The next writing is the Mystical Theology. In this writing, numerous questions are posed, including, how can we relate to such a transcendent God? According to Pseudo-Dionysius, we are uplifted by this transcendent God through the abandonment of all inferior categories, leaving behind everything that has to do with sense, perception, and mental concepts. Through this uplifting, we lose all physical things, including language and thought, until even knowledge is lost, and then we are in silent union with the indescribable one. This is a very Platonic idea, in that in order to reach the intelligible, we must abandon completely the sensible. Pseudo-Dionysius goes on to say that the supreme cause of perceptible things is not perceptible, and the supreme cause of conceptual things is not conceptual. The cause is beyond our understanding. The works of Pseudo-Dionysius involved many cosmological ideas. He described beings transcended up through levels, guided by a hierarchy of angels to reach the One, or God. He focused greatly on hierarchies, organizing angels and the clergy into categories.
Come take a look through my telescope, tryna get girls from a brand, man, you hella won't. Man, you hella won't.
Goodwill. Poppin' tags. Yeah.
I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is awesome. I'll wear your granddad's clothes. I look incredible. I'm in this big coat from that thrift shop down the road. I'll wear your granddad's clothes.
Damn right.
I look incredible.
Hey, come on, man.
I'm in this big coat
Big-ass
from
coat.
that thrift shop down the
Let's go,
road.
come on.
I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is awesome.
Is that your grandma's coat?